several questions around armadillos and leprosy after my little series on skinning and eating an armadillo, and so I figured I'd try to answer some questions if you have any. The first answer is armadillos can and do carry leprosy, also known as Hansen's disease. Disclaimer, I am no doctor or medical expert, but I did read some stuff on the internet, so pretty sure that everything I say is accurate. That all jokes aside, I did try to find things from legitimate sources, and then when I was in college, which was been a few years ago though, we did discuss wildlife diseases, including leprosy, and so up until so armadillos are primarily found in the southeast, although their range is expanding. This is the 9-banded armadillo, just like the one that I skinned and ate. And like I said, they can carry leprosy. In South America, it seems that research is showing that a higher percentage of the armadillo population carries leprosy, and there's also a higher incidence of people interacting, specifically eating the armadillos, so they're having a higher incidence of people contacting leprosy from the armadillos, like in Brazil. In the southeast United States, it seems like the research is pointing to only about 20% of the armadillo population may actually carry the disease right now, which is actually a bacterial disease. It's very easily treated. Evidently, leprosy is kind of not a real durable, I guess. The bacteria is not real durable, and so its conditions have got to be just right. So from what I read and understand, like, contacting leprosy from person to person is not very easy. It's not like you shake somebody's hand that's got leprosy and you've got leprosy. It takes multiple contacts and interactions. So not that has anything to do with armadillos, but it appears, for whatever reason, armadillos with their body temperature, for whatever reason, armadillos are the only animal that we know of right now that carry leprosy other than humans, and it is transmissible from armadillos to humans. Up until 2015, there were only some incidences in Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana that were known, like leprosy positive armadillos and human armadillo interactions. But since 2015, there have been some interactions and infections in Central Florida. I think there's been, I found a map the other day and I hadn't been able to find it again, but I think there's even been some confirmed cases. I don't necessarily know of the transmission, but at least confirmed cases of armadillos carrying leprosy in Georgia. That is a potential, with armadillos' range expanding, with them, coming into people's yards and coming into contact with a lot more people. Personally, I don't think it's a huge threat. I don't think everybody should get all super up in arms about contracting leprosy from armadillos. From what I saw, 95% of the human population has a built-in immunity to leprosy, which is a positive. But nevertheless, it is transmissible from armadillo to humans, and the more interaction you have with armadillos, the more likelihood of contracting leprosy. Leprosy, like I say, it is very treatable. There's less than 200 cases a year in the United States, which, from the amount of people and armadillos, I see 200 armadillos dead a month almost on the roads. That's pretty small odds, but very, very low prevalence and very treatable. But like I say, it is a concern. The CDC and other organizations recommend against handling and eating armadillos, just to try to put an extra buffer to ensure that you don't have any incidence or risk or to minimize your risk of contracting leprosy. So do keep all that in mind. But like I said, in Brazil, there's one of the armadillos. The Brazilian name is translated as chicken armadillo or armadillo chicken, because of the meat tastes like chicken, which, from my experience, very mild, smooth tasting, good tasting meat. So I can't necessarily argue with that. Don't think there's going to be a huge surge of people out trying to catch and eat armadillos. But if you've watched my videos and you're ever in a survival situation or a zombie apocalypse situation, then you can live off armadillos and just hope that you don't get leprosy in the process. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there. If you've been watching my videos and are thinking about trying to eat an armadillo, skin an armadillo, there is potential to contract leprosy, so just keep that in mind. Something else I was going to say, but I can't remember what it was now. So anyway, hope that is beneficial. You're all now aware and leprosy experts, so be careful out there. In all seriousness, in the trapping world in general, there's a lot of wildlife diseases that are carried by the animals that we come in contact with. Raccoons, skunks, foxes, coyotes, and armadillos. So especially, not so much for a fur trapper for armadillos, but where I'm at, if you're doing nuisance wildlife removal, that's you're very really going to get calls about armadillos. So just using caution when you're handling any wildlife, any fur bearers. And getting in contact with the blood and stuff. I try to make it a good habit to wear gloves all the time, and that's never a bad thing. So just keep that in mind. With whatever we're doing, in contact with wildlife, skinning things, and contact with blood, that there is definitely a risk of disease with those things. But hey, that's a risk we all take. Most of us know that, or if you don't, you should. Now if you're watching this. So just be careful out there and go work on that armadillo hat. I did find a company in doing some research called the Armadillo Hat Company, and I was pretty pumped up because I was thinking it was going to be armadillo shell hats, and it's not. It's just a brand of hats. I was pretty disappointed. So if you see Armadillo Hat Company, don't get all excited because it's not what you're thinking. If you're watching this channel, it's not what you're thinking. But anyway, y'all have a good night, and we'll catch you later.